Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. I am back today with a brand new, all new live stream. I have an exciting recipe here for you guys. Now, like always, anytime I do these live streams, I do like to give people just a couple of minutes to join us because it's that time of the night where I know some of you guys are just getting home from work, or maybe you are wrapping up dinner, or maybe a few of you are actually following along with me today. So like always, just want to give them a couple of minutes, and in the meantime, while we wait for some people to join us, feel free to comment in the chat room. Let's see, I always have you guys say where you're from, but I want to change it up today. Let me know what you guys are doing for the July 4th. That's next week, that's this weekend. I want to know what everyone is up to, so just comment while we wait for everyone to join us. And also, if you're not even in the US, so obviously you wouldn't be celebrating the 4th of July, let me know where you're from, because again, I always just like knowing where everyone is and just how far the Chef Z family reaches. I'm looking here in the live chat and I see a bunch of you are here. So thank you again for joining us. This truly means the world to me that you guys are taking some time out to essentially have fun, because that's what these live series are. Well, this live stream summer series is we're cooking together, we're having fun. I'm looking here at the group chat. Oh yeah, I mean, it might as well be the group chat because we're family now, right? So Baby J Online says, I absolutely love that you already have this recipe on your channel and would make it 100 times more easy to follow along. I wonder if you're going to use your Ninja Foodie I purchased or the Foodie Grill XL. You know, I actually didn't even think to use my Ninja Foodie Grill. I actually have that device in my apartment because that's how much I love it. Today, I'm actually going to be making the chimis on the stovetop. I'm going to be using some cast iron griddles, which I have linked in the description box, but you can definitely use the Ninja Foodie Griddle instead, and you can obviously use a real grill as well. So one of the beauties about this recipe is that you can obviously make it a ton of different ways. And you know what? I think that'll actually be a fun one to kind of follow up with, where I actually make it in the Ninja Foodie Grill. Thank you for that. It was actually a really good idea. Let's see. Someone said blessings to me and my family. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. So somebody says that they're going to a baseball game and having family over. Well, I hope you have fun at your baseball game. Thank you for dropping in and saying hello. That seriously means the world to me. We have Nancy from Brooklyn. Hi, how are you? Jesse said, not the chimi. Yes, girl, yes, we are making chimis today. They're actually really easy to make. The marinade is super simple, but it has really high impact, which is one of the things that I absolutely love about this recipe. So if you are just trying to make burgers, but you don't want to make your average burger, but you also don't want to spend a ton of time doing so, this is a great recipe to actually follow. Let's see. We have Andrea. She says, staycation for me. Girl, me too. I don't think my husband and I are really doing anything this weekend, to be completely honest and transparent with you guys. I have been working around the clock, so the idea of just taking a couple of days to veg out and do absolutely nothing and stuff my face, obviously, sounds like a dream. So I won't be going anywhere either. So me and you both. Although I do hope that if the weather is nice, I would like for someone to invite me to their pool so I can get a little bit of color, enjoy the outdoors. We have Susan from Queens. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see what else. Someone says can't even speak. Someone says you hope I'm having a great day, and I actually am. I'm having an amazing day because I'm finally here, being able to do this with you guys. I have said this a million times that these live streams are honestly some of the highlights of my week. We got someone from Kissimmee, Florida. What's up from Florida? Oh my goodness, somebody said con huevo. No, yo no le echo huevo a los chimis. So I actually don't add egg to my chimi. You can't. Adding eggs to a burger mix is very common ish. I would say it was more common probably maybe like 10 years ago. And just so you know, eggs and breadcrumbs serve as a binder whenever you are mixing together ground beef. But I would say that over the last couple of years, that's actually kind of fallen out of fashion. And so most people just make burgers without an egg. However, if you're making like a meatloaf, you definitely want to put an egg. So I hope that helps. We have someone from the Bronx. Hello. Switzerland, you are far. Thank you for joining. I think it's really late for you, so thank you for staying up to watch this live stream. Someone is saying, will this be uploaded? I can't stay long. Absolutely. So here's the thing, and this is actually, you know, a great segue. So all of these live streams that you see right here are going to be saved on my YouTube channel, and they're going to stay up. And as a matter of fact, I even created a separate playlist where all of these live streams are housed together. So if you can't stay for long, or if you miss one, don't worry, I have you covered. I have them saved, and I have them all in one place so that you can just throw it on and watch it whenever it's actually more comfortable for you. We have somebody from Washington Heights. What's up? Hello. And you recently just did my camarón al ajillo recipe, so my garlic shrimp, so thank you. Been with this channel since 5.5 years. Ooh, you are OG. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So I would say that's a couple of minutes. I think, you know, for those of you who have joined us, thank you again so much. We have a fun recipe here for you guys. For those of you who can't stay long, don't worry. You can catch the replay later. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into today's video, right into today's recipe. So today we are making some Dominican style chimi burgers. Now, if you've ever had a chimi burger, you know that this thing is unique. It is one of a kind. It is full of flavor, and it is also one of my favorite things to eat. Now, typically you have this chimi usually at night. Usually after a long night of either drinking and dancing, sometimes both, sometimes either or. And I'm not gonna lie, un chimi a la medianoche, in the middle of the night, after hours, I don't know, it hits a little bit differently. It tastes so good. However, who says that you have to wait until the very end of the night to enjoy this amazing dish? And that's why I have just remixed this dish so that it is perfect for your next barbecue. It's perfect for the summer, and honestly, it's also great to have year round. Now, to make this recipe, we're going to need a couple of things, and I have linked the full recipe in the description box so you can find it on my YouTube channel because it has its own standalone video, although today we're making a couple of changes, and I also have it on my website. However, for today, here's what we're going to be using. We're going to be using some grass-fed ground beef. And you guys know I am a stickler for grass-fed beef. This is super important. As you can see, this has some beautiful color, some beautiful marbling, and if you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. And I actually bought my grass-fed beef today from Whole Foods, which, by the way, this is news to me because I'm such a granny and I'm late to everything. You can actually even get this delivered through your Amazon Fresh, which is really nice. Now, the other things that we're going to need for our chimi is going to be some cabbage and some tomatoes, which I've gone ahead and I've shredded the cabbage and I've actually sliced the tomatoes. Now, to season the beef, we're going to need some black pepper, some kosher salt. We're also going to need some Dominican oregano, 1/2 of a lime, and that's important. We're going to need a ton of garlic, and then obviously for the sauce, we're going to need some ketchup and some mayonnaise. And between me and you, I also recommend that you keep some handy dandy gloves because this thing has so much garlic. Now, someone had actually asked a really interesting question where they asked, you know, que si yo le pongo huevo al chimi? And the answer is no. However, it's really important that we only use 1/2 of a lime. We don't want to introduce too much liquid into this, otherwise it's going to fall apart. Now, before we even start seasoning the ground beef, I'm actually going to set this over to the side, because the first thing that I actually want to do is prepare the cabbage. Now, Dominican Chimichurri, which is not the delicious herbaceous sauce, I'm sorry to disappoint, we refer to it as a sandwich and a chimi for short, is one of the main things with the chimi is this cabbage. Now, one of the things that I've gone ahead and done is that I have actually shredded it very nice and finely, which you can do by hand with a good knife, or you can use a mandolin slicer, which I've also linked down below, and you can also find this in my Amazon store. Now we're going to pickle this, and this is super easy. It's not a science. here's what you want to do. You want to take some vinegar, if I can open it, and we're just going to use white distilled vinegar. And now we're going to add it to the cabbage. And this is a personal preference. You can, I personally like the cabbage to be heavier on the vinegar, but if you want it to be lighter on the vinegar, then feel free to add more water, because the next thing we're now going to add is some water. And again, you can use equal parts vinegar to equal parts water. I'm actually doing 2 parts vinegar to 1 part water because I like it extra vinegary. I think it tastes amazing that way. And now we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt. And I'm just going to eyeball this. I added roughly about 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. And now I just want to mix everything until it's well combined, because I just want to make sure that it's fully submerged. Le falta un poco, so I'm just going to add a little bit more vinegar. And again, como yo soy amiga de vinagre, a mí no me molesta. Ooh, so good. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to add everything. Todo lo que me faltaba. I emptied out the vinegar. So really what you want to do is you want to keep this off to the side for at least 30 minutes. This is going to pickle. It's going to be so good, and it's going to give our chimis that nice extra bite. And like I mentioned before, si tú no eres muy amiga de vinagre, entonces échale un poco más agua que vinagre. Translation, if you don't want it so acidic and so vinegary, feel free to add a little bit more water to a little bit more vinegar. And that's one of the beauties about a chimi. It's a messy burger, not gonna lie. But you can also control just how messy you like it. And I'll go into more detail in other areas of this recipe that you can also customize to your liking. So this is done, and we're gonna set this off to the side. Thank you, Sancocho1718, for your super chat. I really appreciate it. You guys are seriously the best. We're gonna move on now to seasoning the meat. And before we do, I just wanna really quickly see if you guys have any questions. We have, let's see. We have Tracy who says that I'm the best, and thank you so much for trying the recipes and visiting us online. Someone else made the garlic shrimp and they loved it. Thank you. Thank you.
If you don't have distilled vinegar, can you use apple vinegar?
So if you don't have distilled vinegar, you can 100% use apple vinegar. However, just know that it is going to change the flavor profile of it, because apple cider vinegar has its own distinct flavor. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for some substitutions to distilled vinegar, if you can't find distilled vinegar, regular white vinegar will work. And I would even recommend that you use red vinegar or red wine vinegar before you jump into an apple cider vinegar. Again, apple cider vinegar is a totally appropriate substitution to this. The only issue is that because it has such a unique flavor, it can change the flavor profile, so it may be a little jarring. So don't say I didn't warn you, but like I said, the important thing is that you do have some type of acid to get this pickling, and you usually want this to pickle for at least 30 minutes or so. Honestly, this is the first thing I do. I even let it pickle before I even start preparing everything else. And fun fact about pickling your cabbage, much like Brussels sprouts, can make you a little gassy. Can give you a little bit of the bubble guts. So one of the great things about soaking your cabbage in water and vinegar is that it actually breaks down some of the enzymes that gives you a little bit of gas. So if you're one of those people who shies away from cabbage because it makes you a little gassy, just know that soaking it in water or vinegar or vinegar, as I'm doing today, will help with that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's now season this ground beef, which I'm super excited. As a matter of fact, before we do that, I'm actually going to turn on my stove real quickly because I am using some cast iron griddles. And one thing you have to know about using cast iron griddles is that they take a while to warm up. They conduct heat great once they're warm, but it takes them a while to get there. So just give me a second. Okay, Beautiful. So I have that going. So now let's start seasoning our meat. So here I have some fresh garlic, which I've gone ahead and I've mashed. And you definitely want to use fresh garlic when you are making this dish because it will make all the difference. So I'm going to add that to the dish. Just want to make sure to get everything in there. And then next up, we have some Dominican oregano, which, as you guys know, is one of the key ingredients to any time you are making some Dominican food. Now, for those of you who cannot find Dominican oregano at your local supermarket, I have linked it down below. You can find it on Amazon. If you're here in New York, I just want to let you guys know that it's definitely going to be cheaper at your local supermarket within a Hispanic neighborhood. But for those of you who may be far, like in California or even Switzerland, Amazon had you covered. So I'm now going to add that to my ground beef. So good. And then next up, we're going to take just 1/2 of a lime. All right, if I could ever grab it. Just 1/2, that's all you need. We don't want to add too much moisture to this because at the end of the day, we do want these to stick together. And I'm going to squeeze that into the meat. Oh, it's already...
Do you need to use a cast iron pan? Someone doesn't have one.
So someone's asking if we need to use a cast iron pan. You don't have one? Absolutely not. You actually don't have to use a cast iron pan at all. It's totally up to you. If you have like a regular non-stick pan, that's also going to work. I'm just squeezing out the last bit of lime that we have in there. But to answer your question, no, you don't have to use a cast iron pan. Just use a pan that's going to get super nice and hot. I use it because it makes it feel more like it's grilled, because a lot of the times you have barbecues and their grills are actually cast iron grates. But no, cast iron skillet griddle is not a make or break for this recipe at all. So we have Carmen, thank you for this super chat. I truly appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Who always Oh, so Carmen says always enjoy your recipes. Thank you. And for those of you who don't know, my husband is behind the camera and he helps me keep up with the comments. So if I'm talking to you, but then I'm also like talking to someone else, it's my hubby on the other side. So now to the ground beef, we're now going to add some kosher salt. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of testing your pinches. Just know that one of my chef pinches may be different than one of your chef pinches. So I always recommend that you figure out just how much or how little your pinch is, because it just helps you navigate the kitchen a little bit better and it helps you increase your confidence in the kitchen. So I'm now going to add some kosher salt. And I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons to this. Yes. And a really important thing to know about seasoning and salting your burgers, you want to salt your burgers more or less right before it's about to go on the grill. You don't want to do it too far in advance because it can actually make the meat a little bit tough. We're now going to add some fresh black pepper, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. And we're just going to eyeball this. Oh, so good. I absolutely love the smell of this. And now we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. Oh, amazing. Now, I'm actually going to either make some of you guys really happy or make some of you guys really upset. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch into some gloves. Now, this has become like an inside joke here on my channel because some people feel so strongly about, oh, cooking with gloves, se le va a pegar el sabor a la comida. Translation, oh my goodness, that plastic smell is going to translate into the food. That's not true. My thing is that you guys saw how much garlic is going in here. If I went in here with my bare hands, my hands are going to smell like garlic for a whole week. So I'm a gloves girl, okay? I'm sorry if that bothers some of you guys. We have Christoph. Thank you so much for the super chat. You said Great, thanks for the vinegar tips. I actually bought Dominican Oregano through your link in another recipe. Thank you. That seriously means the world to me. Again, hold on, it's a little hot already in the kitchen. Thank you again. Your support is tremendous and I truly appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna go in now with my hands and I'm gonna start mixing this all together. Oh my goodness, this smells absolutely divine. Whew. Oh yes. And I just want to make sure that everything is in there. We have someone says, hello, I'm new here. Well, welcome. All right, so if you guys see, that is very well mixed in. And now I'm going to start making the burger patties. Now, ooh, this seems like a lot of meat. So pretty much all we want to do is we want to take a ball of meat, just like you see right here. And it's roughly like the size of my palm. So if you guys see there, it's like roughly the size of my palm. It's like a huge meatball, honestly. Now what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna take my thumb and I'm just gonna, down the center, I wanna create a little hole down the center, as you can see. Mira. I'm gonna flatten it just a little bit, but you always wanna have that hole down the center because when we put this on the grill, this is actually going to puff up. And we want it to stay juicy while we cook it. So that's definitely going to help with that. Now I'm still going to mess around with this just a little bit more. But again, that's the important part. Now I don't have the burger patties right in front of me. They're actually off to the side. But the other thing that you want to do is that you roughly want to make the patty about 1 inch to 1.5 inches bigger than the patty itself, because this is actually going to shrink when we cook it. Oh, looks. So as you can see, I'm just working the sides because no quiero que se me desbarate when I cook it. But listen, these things don't have to be perfect. We're just making these at home. So yeah, I just want to make sure I'm getting my size right, getting my hole in the center. Ooh, smells amazing. All right, I'm gonna set this down. Ah, I don't wanna, I have an issue. I don't wanna cross-contaminate. Hold on. Ah, that's what 2 hands are for. I got it. I got it. I'm gonna set this off to the side. I'm actually going to, listen guys, I go through so many gloves whenever I'm doing this. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to increase the temperature ever so slightly on my cast iron griddle, because the next thing we're gonna do is actually cook things. So give me just a second. Oh, so good. All right, round 2. We're gonna make another burger patty. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put another fresh pair of gloves on. Jojo X, thank you so much for the super chat as well. You said, thank you for all you do. Your hard work is appreciated. Also, hello there, Mr. Z. We are ready for your debut. Hello. I'm ready for his debut too. He's playing games. But sincerely, thank you so much for the super chat. That seriously means the world. So I'm just gonna go ahead, like I said before, I'm just resetting. I had to take my other gloves off because I didn't want to touch, I didn't want to cross-contaminate. So I just had to reset. So I'm going to make another patty again. I'm trying to feed like 6 people, so I'm trying to like make sure that I don't make these too big or too cheap either. So I have these in the palm of my hand. It's like essentially a big old meatball. I then take my thumb, I put it down the center, I start flattening the sides a little bit, and I start working the center as well. And every time I work the center, I work the sides. So work the center, work the sides, work the center, work the sides. Now, it's important to note that this is actually a little bit different than how I did it in my original chimi video that's here on my YouTube channel. This is on standalone video, so if you haven't watched that video, definitely, it's a little bit more to the point, I would say, because obviously all we're doing is making chimis in that video, whereas today we're hanging out, we're having some fun. But in that video, I made it more like a classic chimi as opposed to like a burger chimi. So in that video, the patties are way thinner because it's very classic of a chimi. So again, working the center, working the sides. All right, and now I think we are actually ready to start cooking these. So what I've done is I've actually pre-greased my cast iron skillet. Super easy to do. I just add a little bit of oil onto a paper towel, and then I just run it over my cast iron griddle, and that's enough to season it, and that's enough to essentially grease it. And seasoning a cast iron grill essentially just means that you're curing it with a little bit of oil, and you kind of naturally make it non-stick. So here we go, and now let's head on over to the stove. All right, so we're now going to place this down. Do y'all hear that sizzle? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love that sound. That's how you know we're cooking. All right, so I actually have my first patty that I made. I have it right here. I'm going to massage it real quick because I don't know if this was going to fall apart on me. I hope not, because then, you know, I'm trying to look good in front of y'all over here. I'm going to set this down now. Oh, so good. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so here's the thing that you guys should know. If you can actually salt and season your chimis one of two ways. You can add the salt as I did when I mixed it, or you can do it a little bit more traditionally where you actually salt it on the grill and you create a nice salty crust in a traditional burger. Because I know I'm going to be cooking these right away, I actually do it ahead of time. So I'm actually going to move back over and I'm going to start making the rest of the burger patties because, believe it or not, I'm actually having some people over today for dinner because the minute that they heard that I was making chimis, they were like, oh, we're coming over. So I'm making a couple of extras. So we'll get to actually make the burger patties together and answer some questions. So again, as you guys have seen, we're just making this into a bun. So we have a question.
Can I make them and freeze them vacuum seal? If so, should I hold off on the salt and pepper?
If you make them and vacuum seal them, then yes, 100% hold back on the salt and pepper. I would even hold off on the lime. And that's because like acid actually works as a meat tenderizer. But if you put acid way too early when it comes to pork and chicken, you actually do the opposite effect where you end up making the meat super, super tough. And that's not something that we want to do. So if you want to make them ahead of time and vacuum seal them, I would add the Dominican oregano and the garlic. And then, oh, but you're probably freezing them in the form of a, you know, add the lime. I think it's fine. Honestly, unpopular opinion. Red meat is one of my least favorite meats to actually freeze, specifically ground beef. So I think that there's a huge difference between a frozen burger and a fresh burger. So I don't recommend actually freezing burgers, but if you do, try and limit the amount of acid because again, you can end up with something that's like a hockey puck. And I don't want you guys to have hockey puck chimis.
They're trying to pre-make it for July 4th.
Oh, you're trying to pre-make it for July 4th. Do it the night before and you don't even have to freeze it. If you do it the night before, you can add all of the ingredients. You can even add a little bit of the salt and then add a little extra salt once you go and take them to the grill and they'll be just fine. My concern is that when you're making these too far in advance, is that they can get a little bit tough in the freezer and then defrosting, and it's like, I want you to look like the only boss and the only G on July 4th. And if you're serving up hockey pucks, I don't know how good of a look that's going to be. But when I actually make these in advance, the most I do is the day before or the morning of. And the other thing is that do not, please, do not take cold ground beef straight out of the refrigerator and throw it onto the grill, because that's also gonna not give you the best results. Now, for those of you guys who are joining us a little bit late, hi, I'm Chef Z, and we are making some Dominican style Chimi burgers. Now, I've gone ahead and I've actually made our pickled cabbage mixture. I've seasoned the meat. I've actually made some burger patties. I'm making some extra ones. I have 2 currently going on the grill right now. Now, those are only going to take roughly 4 to 4.5 minutes to cook. If you like your burger anywhere between medium and medium well. I personally, when I used to eat red meat a lot more often, I actually used to like my red meat medium rare. But because I don't eat it as often, I now have to eat it medium well, because when you don't eat red meat too often, it can be a little heavy on your system. So these days I have to eat it medium well. So that's going to be like about 4.5 minutes on each side.
Love the evolution of your apron. When will they be available?
Thank you. So my husband and I are actually trying to figure out when we're going to make the aprons available, because they may or may not already be done. And it's just figuring out when we're going to make them available. Given the positive feedback from you guys, I'm thinking that I want to make them available sooner rather than later. I keep looking over at my husband, because he's the one that's like really going to help me set that up as far as like the website and shipping. But they're ready. They're ready, and I'm just trying to figure out a couple of last minute details so that I can get them into your hands a lot quicker than we were anticipating, which, thank you for being excited for that.
Chloe said hi.
Hi, Chloe. Oh, hi, Chloe. I can't actually touch. I have an iPad here where I actually go through the comments, and I can't touch it because my hands are dirty with me. So I'm trying my hardest not to contaminate. We have someone from DR. Saludo, gracias. Thank you for joining us. Now, the other thing I will say, that if you are making these chimi burgers in your house, I highly recommend that you have a good ventilation system, because your house can very quickly get very smoky and smell like chimis for days. So don't say I didn't warn you. So I'm making the patties, and I hope I'm making them big enough. Here we go, because I didn't actually measure with the bun, but that's okay. Now, the other thing that you can do that I find is actually really fun and just as filling is that you can actually make these chimis in this form of sliders. I have a YouTube Reels on my Instagram where I show you exactly how I do that. Now, full disclosure, that was actually a sponsored post, but it's still an awesome video, an awesome recipe. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. Oh, this smells amazing. I mean, that smells amazing too, because they're cooking. Awesome. So they've roughly been cooking, I want to say, for about 4.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to flip them over. Give me a second. And as you can see, all of the juice pulls up in the center, but they're not going to come out dry at all. I'm now going to carefully flip them. We have some beautiful grill marks, which is why I love using this pan whenever I'm doing indoor grilling. Oh, amazing. Oh, hey y'all. I didn't even notice where the camera was. I'm actually going to take a quick break from making the rest of the burger patties, because I'm seeing that that's going to be ready in the next 4 to 5 minutes. So I want to make sure that I have the other components of this dish ready to go. So one of the classic pieces of a chimi is the mayo-ketchup sauce. And there's you're either one of two people. You're either someone who likes your sauce separated. So you like to add the ketchup and the mayonnaise separately, or you like to combine them. I personally am someone who likes to combine them, so that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. This one, now that my hands are clean, I want to take a second and look at the comments. Tengo este canal en español, lamentablemente no, pero sí quiero hacer video en español porque yo sé que ya hay mucha gente que lo quieren ver mis videos en español. Can I teach us how to make DR drinks, juices, morisoñandos? Absolutely. I actually have a morisoñando video here on my channel. But I can show you how to make other tasty things like batidas and jugo de avena. Oh, I love that. My grandmother used to make it all the time.
Someone said, is there really a difference between grass-fed beef and regular beef?
Yes. So someone asked, is there a difference between grass-fed beef and regular ground beef? And the short answer to that is there actually is. So grass-fed beef is fed grass, and they're allowed to graze naturally as cows normally like to do, and they're usually not fed a hormone diet, and they're fed an antibiotic-free diet. Now for me, I have a hormone sensitivity, so it's really, really important for me to actually eat grass-fed beef that is hormone-free and antibiotic-free. Now some of the regular beef that you'll find on the market is fed other things. A lot of the times it's corn, or other byproducts of corn, and so it's not as healthy, and you can actually taste the difference. You can actually feel the difference, and if you haven't tried grass-fed beef, I definitely recommend that you do, because you will very quickly know the difference. Okay, so now we're going to mix together our sauce. So we're going to make our mayo ketchup, and comment below, comment in the chat, are you someone who likes to mix your mayo ketchup sauce together, or do you like it separately on your chimi? I'm curious to know. Like I mentioned before, I'm someone who likes to mix it beforehand. So we're going to take our mayonnaise, and we're just going to add that to the bowl. And now we're going to take our ketchup, and we're going to add that as well. Oh, missed a little bit. And now we're just going to mix it all together until it's well combined. Now when it comes to the mayo ketchup sauce, you can add as much mayonnaise or as little mayonnaise, as much ketchup or as little ketchup. I think I have to add a little bit more ketchup, honestly. Everyone has their ratios. You can also add a little bit of sugar if you want this to taste more like the Dominican style ketchup, or you can add a little bit more vinegar. It's totally up to you. I'm now going to very quickly actually start toasting the buns. So just give me a second. We're moving a little quickly here. So give me a second. I'm going to toast the buns. I'm going to get back to this because this sauce, it looks good. It's not all the way there yet. So just a second. Now, when it comes to this, you can use whatever type of bun you want. Today, I want it to be fancy, so we're using brioche buns, which are super, super fun. Oh, look at that. Look at that color. Our burgers are almost there. I'm just now going to finish mixing the sauce. So, the sauce, there's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with the sauce. I like just a touch more ketchup. What do you think, babe? Do you want more ketchup in it? Have it. So, just gonna add a little bit more ketchup. Oh, that exploded. It's fine. Just going to add a little bit more ketchup. And again, if you're somebody who likes a little bit more mayonnaise, feel free to add a little bit more mayonnaise as well. Someone asked, do I have a sancocho recipe? Absolutely. It's actually one of my most popular videos and recipes here on my channel. Or habichuela con dulce. I actually have two videos here on my channel. I have one that I made with my mom, which you guys really, really enjoyed. And then I have its own standalone video, which you guys also really enjoyed. Now, our burgers are pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take them off the grill. First, I have to grab a plate. Oh, my foot is actually fine. It's healing up really, really nicely. Thank you so much for asking. It's been very interesting not being able to get around, but my husband has been absolutely amazing, and he's been taking me everywhere. So I'm just gonna turn this off. Okay, so here we have the burgers, which are beautifully done. Now, look at these grill marks. Whoo, yes, they are everything. That's why I love using a cast iron skillet with grill marks, because it just makes it feel like we're grilling outdoors even though we're grilling inside. I do have one linked down below in the description box, and there's also on my website for those of you who are interested. Excuse me again. Whew, I had to burp. Hopefully y'all didn't hear that, because that would have been bad. I'm now going to check on the buns and see if those are together, and then we're actually going to start building our chimi, and it's going to be amazing. Someone said thank you so much. I appreciate it. Give me a second. Whew, burger buns, how are we doing? All right, these need, oh, these are good. These need like, all right, I'm gonna let those toast literally for like another minute or two. When it comes to you know, the burger bun, you can use whatever type of bun that you want, because remember, this is a evolution of a chimi. We're making it a burger style as opposed to like a sandwich style. When I made it in my original video, one of the things that we did differently is that we had the patty very nice and thin. And then instead of using pan de agua, because I couldn't find it when I made that video, what I did is that I used Portuguese bread instead. Now for today, my husband and I were feeling a little bit fancy, so we used some brioche buns, but the regular white bread bun is totally fine. If you want to be a little bit healthier, you want to go whole wheat, be my guest. You can even use a potato bun, or if you want to use one of my favorite buns, you can use one with little sesame seeds over top, have a little moment. Also amazing. Tracy said, I love to see a couple who works together and keeps growing. Love the cast iron. Thank you so much. Oh yes, my husband and I, we do work together, and we surprisingly don't get tired of each other. And it's actually very rare. From the moment we've met, we just clicked in that way. So I'm really, really happy. Someone said, if it smells, boil cinnamon water while cooking. Yes, you are 100% right. That's actually a tip that I use all the time, especially when I'm making seafood. So that can also work here. I'm going to check on the buns. I want to make sure that they don't burn while we're having fun. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, look, we got a little toasty action happening. We ready. We ready. Let me just bring my plate over. All right. Okay, so we're now going to build our chimi. I'm so excited. Chimi night. This is why we're having guests today, because the word got out. So we're now going to take our mayo ketchup sauce, and a chimi is messy. A chimi is not the time to be cute, prim, and proper. You want to just get in there. You want to make it saucy. You want to make it messy, because that is part of the experience. So we're going to take some. I'm just going to slap some right on the bun. And I'm going to spread it. Look at that. Woo, honey. So, so good. We want even coverage, because we want every bite to have some good old sauce. And now we're going to take our burger bun. Oh, your burger bun. Our la carne. Oh. Tasted it a little bit. Oh, yeah. We're making things happen. I'm now going to, I want y'all to catch all of this. We're now going to take some of our cabbage. Now, I try to make sure that I get as much liquid out, but if some of it stays, that's totally fine, because that's honestly part of the experience. There are some people who actually like to saute the cabbage, which that's totally optional. You can too. I don't like to do it. I like to have a little bit of crunch. There's also people who like to add vinegar to the ketchup. I don't do that either because there's going to be some vinegar in here. I'm now going to take a tomato. Oye, tomate más grande que pan. Gonna add that over top. And we're not done. We are not done. We're going to take some more of this sauce. Put it right there. And again, this is not the dish to be all nice and neat. We want to get it all nice and messy in there. And now we're gonna top it. Look at that. Look at that. That is a chimi burger, a Dominican style chimi burger. Like I said, you can choose to saute the cabbage. You can add the ketchup and the mayonnaise separately. You can add some pickled onions to this if you want. You could even add a little bit of hot sauce. It's totally up to you. But this is pretty much the basics to making a Dominican style chimi burger just in time for the weekend. Someone says it needs cheese. Hey, if you like it with cheese, that's totally up to you. That's definitely something that you can do if you want to add cheese to it. I am a little bit of a dairy situation, so I don't really like to add cheese too much to my food, and traditionally it's made without cheese. But again, you the boss, you the chef of your kitchen, so if you want to add cheese, go for it. Yes, I want to see what you guys are saying. Someone says that looks delicious. Thank you so much. I promise you, if you want to jazz up your burger and make it a little bit different, try this. Serve it this weekend. Try it this summer. If you want to have a burger night, definitely do it. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. My husband and I are actually known for our chimi nights in our family, because instead of doing taco nights, a lot of the times we do chimi nights, and we let people build their own because everyone likes their chimi a little bit different. I just want to look at the comments real quick because I'm going to dig into this in like 2 seconds. Oh, someone says que ella le pone la salsa inglesa a la carne. I never thought about that. And salsa inglesa is Worcestershire sauce, so le quedaría bien. No pensé en eso. Someone says, delicious, love you. Oh my goodness. Someone says, do I have an affiliate link with Amazon? I do. Actually, all the links in the description box are an affiliate link, and I do have it disclosed in the description box as well. And I also have an Amazon store. So anything that you guys buy from my Amazon store, I earn a very small commission from that. And that does help support the channel, and it helps me develop some more yummy recipes for you guys. All right. I'm going to dig into this because this smells amazing. I'm hungry. Are we ready? Because this is... A ver. ¿Cómo me quedó? Babe, best one yet. Best one yet. Look at that. The meat is cooked medium well, but you can cook it medium or medium rare. I really don't think you need to cook it anything past that. I cooked it roughly about 4 minutes on each side, and it gave me beautiful results. I also let it rest for a little bit. Do I want it? I'm going to take another little bite. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's also messy as hell, but it is worth everything. Someone said, crazy club se ve riquísimo. Listen, es fuera de este mundo. It's out of this world. Que casi ni puedo hablar de tan rico que me quedó. Honestly, like I said, una receta bien fácil, que uno lo puede hacer bien rápido y le va a quedar divino. Y uno lo puede hacer este fin de semana o durante verano con... Oh my God. I'm so excited. I can barely speak. Le va a quedar riquísimo. Y algo que uno lo puede hacer este verano para el barbecue, para la fiesta, even at home, just for dinner, para la cena también le queda bien. Thank you guys so much for all of the love. So Roland said, I will be supporting your Amazon store. Thank you so much. That truly, truly means the world. All right, guys, there you guys have it. That's my recipe for a Dominican Chimi Burger, which I hope you guys try. It's a great way to jazz up a regular burger. It's going to become a huge, huge hit. I have all the links listed down below. Like always, this is a summer series. Do not go too far. In fact, I'm doing another live series, a live stream on Thursday. We're going to be making some Cuban food instead. I gave y'all some Dominican food today. It's going to be some Cuban food on Thursday. Like always, I have so much fun cooking with you guys, and I can't wait to do it some more. Lo quiero a todo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, and I'll see you in a few days. Whew, amazing.